30 years old, a single mother of 2. I'm a cervical cancer survivor. Nilitoa discharge for almost 6 years. Nikaona mtu anaongea kwa TV about signs and symptoms of cervical cancer. Na hizo kupitia hapo nika open up, nikashare. By then nilikuwa nafanya house girl hapo Kasarani. Nikashare na yeye akakubali, akaniambia unafaa kwenda hospitalini. Daktari akakubali kunifanyia VIV, inaitwa cervical cancer screening. Akaniambia Millicent, I'm sorry, you have cervical cancer stage 4. Nilifaint kwanza, watu wakasema kiboko ya Mungu, kuna pasta nilikosea, sijui kuna kitu, watu wakaongea tu vitu mob. After my treatment nikasema nataka ku give back to the community.
Niko na penis cancer. Huyu dada amenisaidia sana. Hata sikuwa najua naweza fika hii mwaka. Nashukuru sana. Mimi siwezi kuafford kumlipa kwa hizo usaidizi yote, lakini naomba Mungu tu amlipe.
Natokanga na wao hapa na wapeleka Kenyatta kwa sababu ya kuonesha direction. Napata huyu ni mtu mwenye ametengwa na community mpaka hawezi trust hata bibi yake kwa nyumba, but mimi atani trust. Hivyo naamkanga asubuhi na wajulia hali, wenye naweza pigia simu na wengine wananipigia simu. Mimi waambia tu nipigie simu anytime yenye unahisi unanidi kuongea.
My name is Sydney Chahonyo. Current board chair of Hope for Cancer Kids. Well, at the age of 19, I just finished high school. I was about to go to university, and I started getting various symptoms. Initially, I just got runny nose, started nose bleeding, got very mild headaches in the back of my head. Things you don't really think about, but with time the symptoms got worse. I started losing my hearing. If I can rewind to the age of 7, I was diagnosed with a very acute case of mumps, and they treated me for malaria, and my body reacted to the treatment. So I lost hearing in my left ear. So till to date I can't hear from my left ear. So what happened now, coming back to when I was being diagnosed with cancer, the growth was in the postnasal space. That is right behind where the ear, nose and throat meet. So it's in that cavity. So because it was growing there, it was starting to block my hearing in my right ear, which is my only working ear. So that's what made me actually start put things together and decide, let me go get checked. I was referred to an ENT, ear, nose and throat doctor, and I told him everything that was going on. Kaniambia, this is what I think I know what it is, but I can't tell you, let's do some tests, then we see. So within about a week, he called me back into his office and he told me, you have cancer. Well, at that point I was with my dad, and that's the first time I ever saw him look vulnerable. I saw a tear balancing on his eye, and I was like, okay, if this guy is like this, my 5 sisters and my mom at home, how are they going to react? So from that day, I didn't see it as a death sentence. I told myself, I have to be strong, even if not for me, for my family. It was very tough. It's not an easy thing to go through. A lot of people say that it's not the cancer that kills you, it's the side effects. So for instance, when I was doing radiotherapy, because of where it was being done, it affected my throat. So it became very sensitive. Even eating was very hard. I couldn't eat properly. Even swallowing water became very painful. So I would even avoid drinking water. At the same time, my taste buds were affected. So I couldn't taste the food. At the same time, my saliva glands were also dried up. So then on top of that, just the general pain. But aside from that, cancer is a very emotional and a very psychological disease, because it's very easy to get depressed. It's very easy to get down and to decide I'm not fighting this thing. But I told myself that, I need to take this and be strong for my family. So that's the thing that kept me going. After going through something like cancer, you start looking at life from a different perspective. You start appreciating things that other people don't appreciate, like being able to swallow water without pain, being able to hear, being able to walk, from here to the gate and back without feeling like you're going to fall over. On top of that, you start looking at life from the perspective of, I've been given another reason to live. I was saved for a certain reason. What am I going to do with myself now that I've been given this second opportunity to live? So the first thing I did, I went to Kenyatta Hospital. and I started volunteering there. I was placed at the Children's Cancer Ward, and I would go there on Monday to Friday. And as you start interacting with the kids, you start realizing, the burden of cancer, especially in children in this country. Through that interaction, I was introduced to Hope for Cancer Kids. Hope for Cancer Kids is a non-profit organization. We raise funds for kids who can't support themselves in terms of cancer treatment. They can't afford cancer treatment. And I started working with them on and off basis, and eventually I became part of the board, and I was elected as a board chair. And since then, I've been doing everything that I can to make sure that these kids, number one, have a fighting chance. Number two, that just to put a smile on their faces. And Nairobi Hospice has a saying, let's put life into their days, not just days into their life. So our flagship program at Hope for Cancer Kids, we have partnered with NHIF, whereby we work with community health workers and nurses at the hospital, and they tell us these are the kids who have been diagnosed, but they cannot afford cancer treatment because cancer treatment is very expensive. So what we do is we register them for NHIF and Hope for Cancer Kids. We pay the monthly premiums, and then the government then covers most of the chemotherapy and radiotherapy at public hospitals. Last year, we were dealing with an average of about 244 children per month that we support because they don't have the means to pay for the cancer treatment. So that is our flagship program. Other than that, we are involved in advocacy, psychosocial support. Like, for example, we have an art therapy session with the kids every Thursday. So we go in and we help them to make art and keep their minds engaged. And at the same time, we also use that art we also auction that art to raise funds to support them. So basically, aside from that, we also help in terms of accommodation, because these people come from very far and they're referred to Kenyatta Hospital. They don't know anyone in Nairobi. They don't know where they're going to stay. They don't even have money for accommodation. So a lot of them reach out to us and say, I would have come for treatment, but because I don't have money, I'm just going to come. When I get money, I'll come for the treatment. So we try to step in where we can, although it's not something that we can do with every child. I'm a living testament to that. Cancer is not a death sentence. There are very many people who are diagnosed with cancer and go through treatment and come out on the other side.